some thoughts, and I just hit play because I'm literally at that season or at that stage in my life where I ain't got nothing to lose. What I mean by that is either you can stay tuned in with me or you might want to go ahead and tune out because I feel like I'm on fire. I felt this energy before, and I felt it when I was at my lowest. I know what to do with it. And when I tell you that it's time, I mean that it's time. So if you already feel like, oh, she getting on my nerves, why she keep posting, why she keep saying she ain't gonna stop, why she always on her mat, why she always teaching, why she always doing this, why is she always healing? If you've never walked in my shoes, please excuse yourself when it comes to your comments and keep them to yourself. Now, nobody has said anything to me, but I just feel compelled to go ahead and say that because I've been asked several times over the past several years, what do you do for fun? Why are you doing so much healing? Why do you feel like you have to always work out? Why are you always doing yoga? Why are you always doing these things? And I answered them once upon a time. But now I'm in the space where I feel like, stop asking people those types of questions, because if you've never walked a mile in my shoes, don't ask me that. Because if I wasn't doing those things, who knows where my mental would be? That is my process. That is why I'm here. That is what I'm supposed to be doing. And maybe if you found ways to tap into what you need to be doing, you wouldn't be worried about why I'm doing what I am. That's important, y'all. I don't feel like it's appropriate for people to ask you, why are you late? I don't think that it's appropriate for people to ask you, why are you just now starting to do something? Because you don't know what it took for them to start. I had somebody ask me yesterday, why are you just not getting started with this if you knew? Baby, if you knew what my last few months looked like, you wouldn't have asked me that. You would be congratulating or just celebrating and embracing and empowering me for the fact that I chose to show up. Showing up is hard. So when a person shows up, instead of you downplaying it or telling them all the things that's wrong about the way that they chose to show up, how about you just encourage them and tell them good job because they chose to show up? Showing up is hard. And I don't always feel like showing up. But again, I'm at that point where if I don't, then what? And I'm at that space where I ain't got nothing else to lose. I'm tuned in. So again, when it comes to either you stay tuned in with me or go ahead and remove yourself, because I'm not going to stop. I can't stop. I don't know anything else to do. So for people who are wondering, why is she? What is she? Just know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Just know that if I didn't have these spaces, and I can truly understand how people end up in certain situations because they don't know what to do. And when life hits you and when life comes to your front door and into your house, you'll understand. Because either you can have a breakdown or you can have a breakthrough. And a lot of people have breakdowns and they don't know how to get back up. A lot of people have breakdowns and they stay in that space. That's how you stay stuck in your trauma. That's how you stay stuck in time loops. But you have to realize, if you want to, that it might be time for you to interrupt your own program. It might be time for you to interrupt your own cycle. And it might be time for you to jump out of the loop that you've always been in. It's scary to me sometimes when I see people, no judgment, because I truly feel like I mind thine own business. I keep a lot of things to myself, but when it's something that needs to be said, I'm going to say it, and with no apologies. I lived in Houston for about 6 years. Now that I've been away from Houston for almost 7 years, when did I leave Houston? 2019? What's this year? 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. I can look back and I can see the loop that is still the same cycle. And I feel like sometimes life catapults you or pushes you out of situations because if you didn't get pushed, if something bad or something drastic didn't happen, you probably never would have moved. And sometimes you're being protected from things that you can't see. Because had I stayed in Houston, I probably would have gotten wrapped up in that loop and stayed in that cycle of doing the same thing every single day, every single year and being in the same cycle that I was in right before I came. Now, again, I didn't choose to leave out of Houston. Life pushed me. Either it pushed me with both hands and said, go home, or home was pulling me like, come on, little girl, I got you. Come up out of there. I need you here. It's something greater for you. And I didn't want to come back home. But when I came back home, again, a whole new version of myself came up out of that. I didn't leave the same person that I was, and I didn't come back the same person that I left as. And I'm constantly evolving. And that's how I can observe and see that sometimes we stay stuck. Going back to the reason why I even hit live, either you can tune in to what that is or you can tune out. But just know that if you're tuning into yourself and you're figuring out what that looks like, it's going to be uncomfortable. So you have to just get ready to allow your life to shake up. You have to get ready to understand that a lot of relationships and a lot of conversations that you're used to having ain't going to resonate no more. You have to understand that you're going to outgrow some people. Some people that's hitting you up or trying to connect with you, y'all not going to have anything in common anymore. But either you can stay where you are and continue to stay there in that loop, or you can choose to jump out of it. You can choose to jump out of it. There is a real such thing as timeline shifts or time loops. But a lot of us are so stuck in the cycles that we've always been in, and we're so stubborn that we can't even see what we're in. Think about some of those relationships that you're in. You in the same cycle over and over again until you get tired. And again, something may happen that may push you out or that may pull you into something else. And either you're going to allow yourself to do that or you're going to stay stuck in that breakdown. I don't want that, and I don't wish that on nobody. That's how a lot of people end up on the streets. That's how a lot of people end up in places that they probably never would have imagined, because we have breakdowns and we don't know how to get back up. But I just want you to know that no matter what you're going through, because I'm going through some stuff, and I don't know if I look like what I'm going through, or even if I'm managing or handling myself as best as I think that I can. But baby, I refuse to stay broken down, because I know what that feels like and I know what it looks like. And I know that if I don't choose to pull my own self up, ain't nobody finna come knock on my bedroom door and say, Janae, get up, it's time. Nobody is doing that. Nobody is calling and telling you what you need to do. I'm hearing that from inside of here because I've been in this space before. So again, I just want you to think about, what loop are you in that you're needing to come out of? Whether that's the way that you're talking to yourself, telling yourself that you always gonna be this person and you can't change, or life is not gonna work out for you. Just whatever the negative is, turn that off. And if you're gonna stay tuned in with me, just know that it's time. We're pushing forward, we're pushing through, we're breaking down walls, we're wiping out barriers, we're rising to the top, and we're getting everything out of this life that belongs to us. Everything in this life that belongs to me, come on. Come on. I want everything that's mine. And anything that doesn't serve me, anything that doesn't resonate, anything that doesn't align, any person who is sitting in the corner and silently telling me that they don't like what I'm doing or don't like my vibe or can't rock with the path that I'm on, go about your business. Excuse yourself. Or again, life presents opportunity where those things just naturally happen. So I'm going to continue walking in my power. I'm going to continue walking and showing up in my truth. And I encourage you to do the same. If this resonated with you, tune in. And if it's not resonating with you, tune out. It's as simple as that. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Y'all have a good night.